is an ACM Distinguished Speaker and ACM Professional Member and Faculty Sponsor of VBC ACM Student Chapter. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mega. Dear participants, this session is purely on applications of blockchain technology. But in 15 minutes, first 15 minutes, I'm going to show you one demo because that was left out by the other speakers. I'll show you one demo on that. Using the same machine, localhost machine, we can build a blockchain without any other extra built-in application like Ethereum or whatever. Using the localhost machine, using the command prompt also, we can able to build a blockchain. Once I finish off that, I'll go with the different applications what we created in our institution using blockchain technology. Okay. Without wasting the time, let me go to the Python programming which we created to build a blockchain. And I'm not going to teach I am not going to go with the detailed aspects of any technology right now. I mean to say consensus algorithm or Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm or whatever. I'll just explain the logic. We have blockchain block. We are going to create different blocks with the help of the first function using the first block. Using the class blockchain, we can able to create the blockchain. However, we want to create number of blocks, and we all know it. Previous hash is nothing but the first block is called as genesis block, and the subsequent blocks are called as adjacent blocks. And the genesis block, we don't have any hash value. I think we all know it. This was explained very in the greater details by almost all the speakers. So the second block will be having the hash value of the previous hash block, I mean previous block, and it follows, right? Okay, so initially the previous hash value will be 0. Whenever the two blocks will be created, the second block will be having the hash value of the first block. Okay. So what we have plus one and all. So this is how we can create the block, and the block, this will return the block once it created. And if you don't have any block, it will return -1 as a argument. And indices will start with 0th block, first block, second block, and all. Okay, and that is what we have here. And proof of work, I think we all know it. I think many people, many speakers also explained how proof of work and proof of stake are two important aspects of consensus algorithm, and which returns the metadata, and which indirectly returns a hash value. So for returning the hash value, by determining the hash value, we have built-in library function. I think we all know it again. The hashing algorithm which is used is 256, and we they t- where they the blockchain initially, when they come up with the initial blockchains, they turned up with many hashing algorithms, and they after they come up with the standard algorithm of SHS 256, which returns 64-bit hexadecimal value. That is what this block says. And the last block, the chain block, the first block will be the next indices block. So this block is for chain, to link of chain. The first class is for creating the block, and second the function is for creating the proof of work, and the next definition or class block is for having a chain of blocks in the network. And at last we have a get function and get method and all to get the blocks which were created, to display option and all. The code is very simple. I think you can go through the code. If you have any questions, you can put up your questions. And when the block is created, at what time and what instance is created, we can have with the help of time function we have here. And what I'm cre- what I'm creating the blockchain, why I'm explaining this, because this was not explained by any of the other speakers, wherein which this can be executed on single host local host machine, where we have port number 5000 with localhost IP address as 127.0.0.1. So that is the reason I wanted to show you this also. Any people who are starting with a blockchain, they can able to execute this, which is readily available. And we'll also share all the codes, all the PPTs for you people. No need to worry about that. So you can also execute this. Whatever what the application I had taken is only one application I had installed, that is Postman application. Uh, was the screen visible? Okay. Sorry for that. Uh, Sorry. Okay. Sorry for that. I was explaining this code. Sorry for that. Nobody had said about that. This is what the first block. I think it's visible, no? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first block is of creating the block, and second block is of what I had explained. I'll once again I'll tell this because this is also very simple. Any layman can also build this blockchain. This first class is for creating the blocks, and the second thing is to check out whether the block is validating proof of work, and the last module is to add up the chain of blocks. And at last we have the get method to get all the blocks which is already created, and this is what we have. And this is a file which I had saved in a document. So how to execute this using a Postman application? I think let me open that Postman application. This is a Postman application. This is again freely available. You can also Aramse download. And I'll before this, let me open the command prompt. We all know it. I had saved that file and the program which I had shown in documents, and within the document we have Python blockchain had created a folder. Within that I have a file called temp.py, and that's Python script which I had written. And let me execute that. That is using a Python compiler, Python space temp.py. So this is a localhost machine which I said. It will be keep on running until unless I press Control C. This is the thing which I wanted to explain you people. And there's a Postman application which I said, which is connected to the localhost. If you want to check that, we can have HTTP colon. You can have this. That is. HTTP colon double slash 127.0.0.1. That is the IP address of the localhost machine, and colon 5000 is a port number which I had showed in the code also. And get chain, we don't have any chain, so if I execute this, if I sending that, it will not show any chain and all. This is the first block we can see here with the index of 1. Previous hash value, as I said, we can have 0, and proof of work is 1, and timestamp at this time it has been created. Okay, so again, if I would have run this, it will go with the second block, creation of the second block. So okay, so let me go with one more thing called mine the block. Let me mine the second block. The second block is index with the 2, and message is it's same, that is the hash value we have. Why we have the hash value here? Because but the first block having 0 because it's a second block. So proof of work is for 533, and timestamp at this time. In the same way, let me go with the third block, and let me go with some 4 blocks. Okay, and let me display all the blocks. You can check out here. Get time. It's a method name, so I'm taking the same name here. So if we display, it will show all the blocks which was created using a simple localhost machine. Okay, you can check out this first block, second block, third block, and fourth block. It's a simple, and the length of the block. How many blocks we have? 4 blocks. Okay, a simple example, layman example, which I want to depict in front of you people. You can also create the simple Python application if you have a Python compiler in your machine. If it is installed using this Postman application, how to collaborate that with Python. We have Flask IDE, Flask we have. Had written here Flask. There's a line just if you would have given the statement Flask is equal to 0.12 dot this is a version, and pip install. If you would have given the statement, that this will be automatically installed the Flask in your machine, by which we can combine your Postman with the localhost machine. Okay. This is what which I want to depict. That's all. I'm just touching the surface of the water. I know all the they had explained a few speakers had explained Ethereum tool and all, where they had used Solidity language and all. And the first the hands-on was with the JavaScript also. It's fine. Just a localhost machine without any extra application. We can also run the blockchain. For the initial users, they wanted to begin the research. They can go with this. So this is the first thing which I want to explain. And the second thing is, which I want to put in front of you is applications of blockchain, which is a major thing which I want to which I want to explain. Blockchain applications are tremendous. Okay, wherever we have wherever we have decentralized, wherever the requirement of decentralized applications we have, there we can arms use blockchain application. It might be from very layman example to the higher example like military examples and whatever. We can use blockchain application. Okay. So we in our institution we have a small blockchain community. We built some 4 application which I want to portray in front of you people. They are very small application, and I'll give directions to build different applications also for you people. Okay. The uh, the first application was e-voting. I think you all know about the drawbacks and loopholes of e-voting. Mainly the security was we cannot assure the complete security in case of classical voting mechanism, especially in India, and the manipulation of data. We cannot assure, right, where will manipulate and when will manipulate. So we thought of this idea and we come up with. We don't know how the ballot box will change and all. I think many you might have heard of a lot of loopholes in classical voting mechanism. So what we thought of having a small application on blockchain. And one more thing I want to mention again and again, all the 4 application has built on test network. We had not taken any private network, we had not built any private network, and we had built all the application on test network. And if all the applications are running nicely, but once we wanted to convert this to an application, there we can go with the private network. Right now we had built all with the help of test network using Ethereum tool. Okay. And you also try with different applications. Okay. And this is the first application, and what we did is we had taken only 2 candidates for this. And once the person here they want to vote the respective person, you can click the button called select. You can select the candidate here, and they can click the button vote button, and immediately the MetaMask will be generated. It will triggers the transaction. Okay. Once the transaction is triggered, immediately I think we all know it, why MetaMask we require. That will be run between the application and the blockchain, to interact between the application and blockchain. When the MetaMask will be triggered, transaction will get triggered by hexadecimal value. Immediately an hexadecimal value will be generated, and that you can see at the end of this value, your account number, that hexadecimal value. And once he casts the vote, immediately that will be encountered with the help of a small window which you can see here. But the value, the voted value, voted count has been changed and all. For more security purposes, you can hide that also, and you can use for just for the application we had used in test network, and we had shown the voting also. But if you want to go with real-time practical application and all, you can hide other things and all, where we can able to avoid manipulation of the data. And we can hide the results also, because we have to project the results at the end of the voting and all. That is the first application. And for front end, and for all the 4 application, we had used front end Node.js and Web3 JS, JavaScript and all. I think in the first day, I think Mayur Patil has explained the greater details of it. And for front end, for this application, we had used HTML and CSS, which is very static, which was not interactive. And for later last 2 application, we had used React JS, where we can have dynamic web applications. Okay. That is one thing. And one for the first application where we can have similarly we had went with the second application. The problem identification of these applications very important. First of all, how to identify the problem statement. And this problem statement you might feel pretty fascinating, very simple and all, but it's matters a lot when we consider the aspects of your western countries, where adoption of pet animals is a great thing, where they adopt the animals, they leave the animals and all. So we thought of building a blockchain environment, because the few, I mean the population of pet animals, and I mean to say, after some years, certain years, threshold years, they leave the pet animals wherever they want and all. So instead of that, why can't we have blockchain application? It will have all the records on the blocks, individual blocks with the name of the pet animal and all. So we thought of using this application, which was a centralized application to the decentralized application. It's a small application, and again, when all the pet animals which can be adopted can be displayed on the web page, and those who want to use it, they can click the photo which I had displayed here. And once I click the photo, again the MetaMask will be generated immediately. The transaction will be triggered, and an hexadecimal value will be created, and some value ethers will be. As I said, it's a test network. We had used some ether value. For Ethereum, it will use ether value and all. We all know it. Okay. So this is what we have at the second application. What we had built in case of uh, in case of using the blockchain. And here also we had used the same front end application and back end application. It's also static, which is not so dynamic. So initially we had come up with these two application, and we thought of, I think how the block will be created. No, similar way the blocks will be created on individual name, and if any security loopholes has been happened, that will be the further blocks will be identified, and immediately the person will be, I mean, that block will be changed, that doc will be nominated, highlighted, and we can able to identify the culprit and all. This is the second important application what we come up with this. And the third important application was crowdfunding. I want to put more important aspects on this. Okay, crowdfunding plays a vital role in the nowadays. Like it might be in natural calamities, or it might be in military application, or it might be in if whatever. Okay, crowdfunding matters a lot in medical application. Like if some person having some disease, they want to donate and all, I will go with crowdfunding, right? Okay, we have already many crowdfunding applications like Kickstart. I think you might have heard of this name, Kickstart application, and GoFundMe application. They are all not blockchain applications. So they had used with help of centralized application. And majorly the crowdfunding mainly used to donate the amount to the respective people, and we used to donate the amount, but we don't know where exactly the amount is utilized proper, and we don't know how the amount has been utilized. So this was a problem statement we thought of, and this is an issue, and we can actually relate, and we are working on this seriously actually. We wanted to build up one application on this actually, and right now we built again on test network. And why? Because this anybody can you go with crowdfunding for their own aspects, for their own waves. But make sure that each and every person who donates the amount, they want to have one important they want to make sure that how the amount has been spent, and how much amount has been left out, how much everything, right? So that can be tracked with the help of, these are called as direct funding. Okay, this Kickstart and GoFundMe and all, they are direct funding. And crowdfunding, where exactly I mean blockchain crowdfunding is where exactly it's not direct funding, it's again direct funding using some kind of metadata and all will use it. So that is the thing, decentralized approach to crowdfund all fees for the investors, and it also gives a share of the project to receiver. It's by establishing peer-to-peer relationship between the investor and also the receiver. Okay, this is the main application what we had built. And again, for the we had used and one more important thing what we had used here is for the front end we had used React.js because let me have this application more interactive and all. So anybody, if they want to open the campaign, they can open. And again, it's in test network. If you want, if you would have hosted on the live network, we can make it open for anyone if they want to open the campaign, and they have to mention all the reasons why they want to campaign and all. Once they came to know about all these things, they can aram say come up with the they can create the campaign, and they can host their own crowdfunding blockchain, and they can able to take out the things. This is the third important application what we thought of. And if you know the problem statement, the application development is very simple. We all know it. All ready networks will get it. We can write the code and we can do it. But if you know, if you are well versed with the blockchain. But what I want to tell you is problem definition and problem identification is very, very important. Okay, how will identify the problem, where we can apply this blockchain in the in the present scenario. For that, you have to interact with the expertise in the centralized application, what they're facing and all. Which and one more thing which I want to highlight at this amount of time is crowdfunding. I mean, blockchain is directly dependent on cyber security. Cyber security, I think, again, cybersecurity plays a very important role. Why? Because this blockchain come up with, even today also, blockchain come up for the application where we have centralized application and which is not reachable to all the people. I mean to say, with in a nice manner. So we are shifting towards blockchain, but that blockchain also is completely under surveillance of cloud. I mean, cyber security. Why? Because any investment or anything that should not be wasted, or that should not be, overtaken by somebody else for nonsense usage and all. Okay, so this completely depend upon cyber security. And cyber security, I think we all know it. There are a lot of laws, completely whatever the threat happened in the cyberspace, or it might be in the network, will be liable with I mean, fee, penalty, or it might be with beyond the rods and all. So what I had highlighted, that cyber security. This is one more important application where we have used this. And why I had said that cyber security, because wherever you can check out blockchain project they are running, there will be, along with that, there will be a project of cyber security will be running. The people who knows cyber security expertise will be there. They have to take up the live project of blockchain. Okay, that is also one of the important application of blockchain, which is called as crowdfunding. And again, this is the holographic environment what we had campaigned. And if they want to, same thing, crowdfunding and all, if they want to check out, and immediately once they fund the amount, they'll be generated with the hexadecimal number, and they can validate how the, using that hexadecimal number, they can validate where the money is, paise to paise, we can alarm track of it, how it will be spent, and how much amount is left out and all. And that also, again, for the privacy purpose, if they want to keep secure of the total amount funded, all, they can do it. That depends. And this is one more important application. And the last application which we built is IPFS, Interplanetary File System. And for this, what I can tell you is the better example is BitTorrent application. BitTorrent application is also a peer-to-peer network. Interplanetary file system, again, it's also a peer-to-peer globally mounted file system, which addresses the challenges which can resolve mainly data reliability, fault tolerance, and consistency, and non-replication issues of the current existing system. Okay. So basically on this, we had come up with IPFS, a small application. Again, it's a small pop-up application what we had generated, what we had created. And the application runs like this: whatever the file you want, you can upload the file here, and that can be accessed by any user on the network. Again, we had implemented on test network. For this also, we had used only changes. For the front end, we had used React.js, and for backend, we had used Node.js on Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is the tool what we had used, and Ethereum, which will be interact between the application and the blockchain. We all know it. And Ethereum uses a language called a Solidity language, which will be having .sol files. And here, what the application talks about is whatever the files it might be, image file, text file, audio file, video file you want to upload, you can upload it. That will be on all the blocks, and they feel that this file is valid and we can download it. They can use that file, and nobody can able to manipulate the file. If they want to change the file, it will be affected to the rest of the blocks in the network. So this is one more. This is mainly used on IPFS, and it was generated. It was developed, and these are four applications which I want to demonstrate. I mean, which I want to show you in front of you people. Like, I think you might also build a different application where we required blockchain concept. And we cannot able to completely change all the decentralized application, centralized application to decentralized application. One of the thing is the land records. On that day also they're discussing, it is not completely built. Actually, it's under process. And that can be able to, and for example, power of attorney, those kind of things we cannot able to completely on the, we cannot able to put completely on the blockchain, because they also, even today also, it requires handwritten affidavit. I mean, that has to be taken care by respective lawyers and all. Those things which cannot able to modify with the help of blockchain. Wherever the application is possible on with the help of blockchain, we can use this concept for the decentralized applications. Okay, and I want to tell very important two aspects. One is the in whole India, authenticately the blockchain projects are running on two major organizations. One is CDAC Hyderabad. I think you people might have heard of this. CDAC Hyderabad is a place where the people are working on various aspects on blockchain. They used to conduct. We have also career on that. I think you can able to see this website. You can visit the website. You can able to check which application they are working on, and you can also have different careers there also. CDAC Hyderabad, which works under the government of India, we all know it. And this is one CDAC center where they had taken blockchain project, and I can contact the people, and we have a lot of career opportunity also there to do your masters and also your PhDs if you are eligible to go there. And one more important the organization who working on blockchain is IIT Kanpur, where they have national blockchain project they're running on. You can visit and you can see that website also. And fortunately, I got an invitation and I visited that lab also, where they are working on all the threats on the blockchain. I mean, they're working on cybersecurity and also blockchain, and mainly whatever the I think recently we have a news like China. They have 6,000 threats. They had loopholes they had identified in the Indian websites and all. So those kind of how many the complete monitoring of injection attack or whatever the type of cyber threats they have is completely monitored by a C3I center, IIT Kanpur, and also they are also working on national blockchain project. There also we have a lot of career opportunities. You can check out. You can visit the lab if possible and all. They are also working on blockchain, and where almost all the resource people who came for our FDP, they are from this RAS, or it might be Tanmay, or it might be one more fellow. All these three, they are from IIT Kanpur, and they are working under this Professor Shukla sir. He's the mentor, and he's giving a lot of guidance towards blockchain and career opportunities in blockchain. And if you have any nice application, if you are planning to build on blockchain, if you wanted to, if you have any problem statement, if you want to work on the, if you know how to create the smart contract, there is career opportunities in that national blockchain project, where your students are anybody who are good at somewhat, if you know how to create the smart contracts. These people also working on land ledger records and all. They want to convert all the things to the offline with the help of blockchain. So you'll be having a fantastic career opportunity there also. So these two are in whole India. CDAC people and IIT Kanpur people, they are working on blockchain projects, and where I got the contacts to invite this invitees. And also in CDAC we requested, but because of the time classes we could not able to take them. And there also, if you have any kind of application, you just identify the problem statement where you can incorporate this blockchain to that decentralized application. I can go with that. And in our institution also, we have a small community called blockchain community, where we are also working on that different aspects of blockchain, like Web 3.0 blockchain community we have. If you people, if you want to collaborate with us, if you want to collaborate with us, you can visit the website. And we also not doing extremely good job, I can tell you. We are also building the small application. That is the reason I had taken the last session to explain. We are working on decentralized application, immutable ledger, and all these things. And we have some external experts also with us, and we have mentors, and we are working on these tools: Python, Solidity, Ethereum, Node.js, React.js, and IPFS. and we built with some applications also, and we had published few papers on that also. So if you really want to join us, this is the application. If you want to have a demo, you can demo ePet Shop, as I explained, e-voting, and other applications. And if you really want to join and if you want to collaborate, you can also collaborate with us using this. We have join our community. You can join us. We can also do some collaborative works with the help of our resource also. So this is the overall objective which I want to present in front of you people. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, we can have a Q&A session now. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, I can put up a question. I can answer for that. Or else you can post your question.
So
So I
there
will.
are queries.
Okay, 1 second. Oh yeah, I'll go through those things. Version, which version of application need to be downloaded? I mean, which one you are talking about? Whether Python or which one? Which application? The question is not.
Postman application.
Postman application. Okay. Postman application. We have. I had used 13.0. You can use whatever the application. The recent one. The recent patch will be good. Not only for this application. You can take up whatever the application it might be. You have to take the recent patch only. Why? Because if it is not a recent patch, the old patch will be already have it some threats. No. So go with the recent patch, which is available on the market. I mean, which is freely downloadable. Downloadable. You can go with it. Okay. And scope of blockchain research, yes, we have a huge scope. That's what we discussed in the complete these 3 days. We can able to build. See, talking on different application is cannot be a research, and building an immutable ledgers, or it might be building working on private network, not on a test network. That depends wherever which are the application you are working on. Based on those application, you can also work on different types of test network, and you can also come up with things. And we have journal to publish. Before this, we don't have a specific journal on blockchain actually. Now we have specific journal on blockchain also, where you'll get lot of research papers. I'll show you one journal. I think it might be helpful, where I'm also the editorial board member, which is under Indus Science. I think this might be helpful. Please download few papers on this journal, International Journal of Blockchain and Cryptocurrencies, where you'll get. They are working on different areas of blockchain, like applications, technologies, and almost all the 4 papers what we publish all on blockchain applications only, cryptocurrency. And we all know it. Bitcoin is not supported in India. I think we all know the I mean, how politicians are working and all. They they don't want to go with bitcoins and all. A few nations they support the bitcoins, but not completely. They can able to convert to actual currency after some time once the wallet is with some value, some threshold value. And fintech, digital currencies, distributed ledger technology, smart contracts, and these are the different things. And you can also visit this journal, one of the finest journal, which comes under Indus Science. I think Indus Science, it's they'll take only the quality papers, and I'm also one of the editorial board member in this. Can able to can you can download the papers in this one of the fantastic journal. Once you read few papers, you'll get to know few ideas how to come up with the research ideas, how to build a new application, or it might be how to work on immutable ledgers, or how to work on different algorithms. And one more thing which I want to tell: Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm plays a vital role in blockchain. And it's not a new algorithm. We all know it. Even today also, it's not a new algorithm. It's an old concept, but we had used that application on this particular you know blockchain. Please kindly give attention towards that also. It's we have huge scope on that. Let me I'll show. I'm not going to explain the things, because already the many people had explained the different aspect of it. As I have the slides, let me. You can also find the loopholes of that algorithm, and you can also use it. How we can. Byzantine fault tolerance algorithm. This is also algorithm where you can also work and you can also modify something in this, because it's also having, if you want to work on large blockchains, if the number of blocks increases, we all know it, we cannot able to take up with small CPUs will not sustain to have blocks. So we'll go with GPUs. How we can reduce CPU time using BFT algorithm and all. That also can. It's also very. People are working on this actually right now, but it's also one of the recent problem statement you can take up, and you can also work on this. Okay. And mainly people are looking for the problem statement on centralized application where they have the loopholes. Okay, once they find the loopholes in the centralized application, then they'll identify the loopholes, then they'll write the problem statement how they can modify those loopholes with the help of blockchain technology. That is also another problem statement. Any other question? Okay. Yeah, can you come? Ethereum and Hyperledger, they are completely different. Ethereum work on smart contracts. Hyperledger work on different things. Fabric work on different things. And Ethereum uses Solidity language. I had not worked on Hyperledger Fabric. Ethereum uses Sol language as well, Solidity language, and it's similar to the object-oriented language only. It's same as of Java, JavaScript, or Python. But small syntax, they have small difference in the syntax. That is the first thing which I can tell. Ethereum, they'll use ethers as a currency, and if you hexadecimal value, if you have used and all, that is also one of the thing. Hyperledger Fabric we had not used right now, and if you want to go with IPFS higher application, you can use Hyperledger Fabric. It's also one of the fine application I had heard of this, but I'm not much aware of Hyperledger Fabric and how blockchain technology is used for medical purpose. Okay, medical purposes like let me tell you one important problem statement. For example, a layman, we built this medchain. Let me call the application called as medchain application. We built actually a medchain application. We had given the name as medchain. Main idea behind that medchain application is previously my set of project students have built that. In layman people, he's having some disease, for example. Okay, what he'll do, he'll go to an hospital, he'll take up all the type of all type of checkup and all. Once after taking all BP, blood pressure, or it might be sugar, all test, what the many of the chances will be there where they suggest to go for other hospital, right? So once they'll go for other hospital, the hospital people, they'll not recommend to take the test what they had consulted with the previous hospital, right? So what they'll use immediately, they have to undergo one more series of tests. A huge amount will be wasted, right? So this is what the natural phenomena what happens right now. It might be whatever the hospital take, then again they have to go with all the kind of similar tests, and they'll go with the medication. So what we thought of is, why can't we have blockchain application to use this kind of medical application, where instead of test wherever they go, they have to undergo the series of tests. Instead of that, once we had created patient portal, admin portal, and all the different kinds of portal again on a test network, and we requested DHO to build on a few network, and they had rejected not to have on the real-time network. So it's pending actually. So what the idea is, instead of having it on going for different tests, they'll go with the test, and all the documents will be uploaded by the patient portal, and using the hash code of patient, doctor hash code, and using the hash value of the patient, he has to give the permission only for the doctor to use it. Okay, so that data, that records will be used, and whatever the changes the doctors has to do it, they can use it, and all the documents will be recorded, and that will be indicated to the patient also. And if they go for the other hospital also, whatever the hospital, they can again they can pop up with the same kind of thing. And this was an idea what we thought of in medical application. This is a fantastic application you can also build, because right now what they're using, even today also, they all following classical methods for application. This is one of the application in medical purposes. And okay, well, sir, what are the security challenges in blockchain technology? And the usually wherever I'll give the blockchain talk about blockchain application talks and all, they usually ask what is the major. There's no drawback. No, we have major drawback. We see we are completely changing the present scenario to the upgrading scenario. I mean to say we have to convert the classical things to the new technologies. But adjustment is it takes time. It will take a lot of time. That is major challenge. The people will not accept easily the advanced technology, right? That's a major challenge. The second important challenge, what I can speak on is the second important challenge is on data. Okay, so data security plays a vital role. Nowadays data business happening like anything. Previously we have like vegetable business, that business and all. Nowadays data business, 1,000 numbers, 10,000 numbers, 20,000 mobile numbers with mail IDs, they will be having some costs, right? In the same way, so data business plays a vital role. So security, we cannot assure 100% all the times. Okay, now right now blockchain technology provides security. If you would have used immutable data concept and all, we can achieve, but we cannot assure 100%. That is a second important drawback what we can have in blockchain. Like anybody, if they're working on the blockchain, they have to give attention towards data security also. All right. How can patient in that medical application? That was a scenario where there was a series of questions by the higher authorities, like how can the patient store all the data on the cloud? Like how they can store. That was a major aspect which we again, it's all about. If you want to go with a decentralized application, means they have to store on its own block. That's a major thing what I can tell. What scope of research in area of consensus algorithm? Again, it's not a new algorithm. People will have bad conception that is used in only in blockchain. No, it's not that. Consensus algorithm, it's a very old algorithm. Again, proof of work and proof of stake is again old concepts. We are incorporating those concepts in blockchain. That's all. They are not the new concept actually. We are incorporating both proof of work and also proof of concept, proof of stake in this blockchain. And you can also it's very hard to change those two things, POS and POW. We can able to change somewhat of consensus algorithm. Consensus is nothing but commitment. The meaning of consensus is commitment. That is, we'll agree. Okay, so to agree, how will agree? That agreement depends upon various aspects, right? So we can also use consensus algorithm for research, but I won't suggest consensus algorithm will not having much scope because consensus algorithm, it's very old algorithm, and we have to use the same protocol with the different, because consensus algorithm, studying the consensus algorithm, it's a tedious job. It's not so simple. Various cases we have, how it work on orphan blocks. I think you might have heard of this orphan blocks, which are left out blocks, orphan blocks, and how at the same time different blocks will be added to different nodes, right? How that will be taken care by consensus. These are different challenges. You can able to address different challenges in consensus algorithm, but we cannot able to modify the complete consensus algorithm. That is not permissible with my knowledge. Okay, so that is and white papers are available. White papers are available on consensus. You can also go with it. Okay. And next, privacy in blockchain can also be good research. Privacy, data security. See, once we talk about data, data comes with security and confidentiality. Privacy and confidentiality matters a lot. Okay, so you can use different various cryptographic algorithms for that. Even today also, I'll give a better example for this. Even RS algorithm is very old algorithm, 1972 algorithm. It was developed in 1972. Still, even today, almost all mailing application they'll use an aspect of RS algorithm, right? So the reason behind this is the key size, the size of the key. Okay, so That is the reason even today we don't have 100% security. After some 90 days or whatever the days it might be, the banking sector people or whatever, they'll tell us to change the password immediately, right? Please change your password. A password has been expired. The reason is that the attackers get to know the existing password. There's a chances of getting, because of time they had given, no? There might be a chance of brute force attack. Okay, so we cannot assure 100%, but what we can go with is, I think even today also, who will develop the new large prime number, they will be rewarded with some mm, uh, amount or some bucks, right? So going with the size of the key matters a lot in security aspects, and people who are really interested in number theory and all, they can aramse go with RSA algorithm. Even today also, many people will suggest that RSA is very old algorithm, don't go with that research and all. Even today also, people are, lot of people, they are working on RSA algorithm to provide higher security and all. Those will come up with a new prime number, the big prime, very big prime number, and very big key. They will be rewarded, so they can work in this way. I think I had answered Murthy sir. And what kind of majority attacks which will happen in blockchain, and all cyber. I think few people might have heard of this pen testing or pen tester, penetration testing, and all. Penetration testing is a mechanism where they used to identify the loopholes in the websites. In the similar way, there are some attacks that can be happened by penetrating the blockchain. We have Metasploit. I think for you people, if you want to understand, the layman example is White Shark tool and all. They are the analyzers where they can aram say invoke the website in the similar way. There are a few they can the attackers, they can able to create some block attack block. I mean the threat block, and they can try to insert in the blockchain. And how that blockchains will be taken care, that will begin using consensus. They'll verify, they'll validate, they'll mine, the miner will take care of all those things. And again, these are the kind of attacks what we can have in blockchain. And that's what some attack blocks can be created in the chain. Or they'll simply I mean highlight the hash code, wrong hash code, or other hash code on the blocks. That's also the attacks what we can have on blockchain. Any other questions? I think I had answered. With my knowledge, I had answered almost all the question. If you have any question, you can put up your question also. I can answer for that. And we are happy to have the collaboration with our community also. If you want to join, you can contact me. I'll share my mail ID also in the WhatsApp group what we have. If no questions, I'll sign up. I will have small validatory session now. In couple of minutes, we'll have small validatory session so that we'll wind up the FDP formally. Please stay back just for a couple of minutes, or 3 minutes to 5 minutes. If you have any doubts, you can put up your question in the mail ID. I'll share the knowledge whatever I have. Thanks for listening. Exactly, the time is 2:48. We'll come back exactly by 3 o'clock. बंद
I thank Professor Gururaj for enlightening us about the applications of blockchain and its technology. I request the participants to kindly stay back. We'll be sharing up the feedback and attendance link shortly. Along with that, you will be having the quiz also in the same link. And the constraint is specified in the link. Okay.
ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರು ನಂಗೆ
Welcome back all. Now I request Professor Swati B. Harish to brief out the sessions of FDP.
Good afternoon, all. A three-day FDP on blockchain technology and its application was conducted in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, VVC Mysuru, in association with Wireless Internet Working Group, that is WING, from 22nd to 24th June 2020. The FDP received a very good responses with 70 participants from various states. On 22nd June, the session started by Dr. Bhavana Rudra, Assistant Professor, Department of IT, NIT K Surathkal. She gave an introduction towards blockchain technology. The second session was hands-on session given by Mr. Mayur Patil, Project Manager, Client India Private Limited, Gujarat. On 23rd June, Dr. Ras Dwivedi gave an insight on the basics of blockchain technology. In the fourth session, Mr. Sumit Patil, Project Engineering, National Blockchain Project, IIT Kanpur, gave a demonstration on creating smart contracts. On 24th June, Mr. Tanmay Yadav, Research Associate, National Blockchain Project, IIT Kanpur, gave a bird view on Hyperledger. And in the concluding session, Dr. Gururaj Hechal, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, VVCE, enlightened us about the various applications of blockchain technology. So I wholeheartedly thank all the resource persons for sparing sometimes for knowledge transfer out of their busy schedule. Now, I request Dr. Gururaj Hechal to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, dear participants, very good afternoon. Before going for vote of thanks, can we have one or two feedback? please unmute yourself and can you share your feedback? Any one or two?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. This is Professor Murthy from Presidency University, Bangalore.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. It's audible,
Hello.
no? Yeah.
Yes, sir, it's audible. It's audible.
First of all, thanks for organizing a nice event. I'm a PhD scholar, and my area of interest is blockchain, and I'm working towards how to improve the scalability of blockchain. So this FDP helped a lot. Okay, and thanks, Gurraj sir. I know you. Last time you was a resource person for one of the event here in campus. So we have very good friendship. Just we will have some collaboration and we will work together, especially in blockchain. Thank you and keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Any one or two? Can we have the feedback?
Hello,
Hello.
I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, sir. This is the Professor from Professor Samet KBT College of Engineering, Nashik. I have joined blockchain workshop at the I didn't have any knowledge.
Please, louder, louder.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible. You're audible.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Before joining workshop, actually, I don't have any kind of the blockchain. But the sessions were conducted in the morning and the afternoon. Mostly the afternoon sessions very practical sessions. And from that sessions, actually, I learned all the concepts of blockchains, and then that is what then smart track etc. So this workshop almost helpful me to start this blockchain project. So thank you for giving the opportunity to join this session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Back. Else? Candidate.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Rasha here, Assistant Professor, Vidya Vikas. And firstly, heartily congratulations for Guruja for organizing this FTP. And thank you for all these informative sessions. And it was really neat of the heart. And thank you for clarifying those points and doubts. And looking forward for your further session. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Varsha. Anybody else? Okay. If no means, we'll go for the valedictory session. I wanted to thank, it's my privilege to express my sincere gratitude towards the management of VVCE and our beloved principal, Dr. B. Sadashiva Gowda sir, and our beloved HOD sir, Dr. Ravi Kumar V, and my co-coordinator, Professor Janvi V, madam, for helping us to conduct various events like this, and also the program coordinators, Professor Megha, Professor Gagana, Professor Swati, and Mr. Pushkin for helping us to conduct 3-day FTP on blockchain technology and its application. And I should thank all the participants across India for the well response, and we had limited the number of seats also. And I wholeheartedly thank the various resource persons who accepted our invitation for giving their valuable knowledge towards this. And it was a wonderful platform where we exchange the knowledge. I wholeheartedly thank each and everyone who supported knowingly or unknowingly to have this FDP. And this is what the complete. I'll put a curtain for this complete FDP. The feedback link and attendance link and quiz link is also shared here. Kindly fill all the things. Those who will qualify with the quiz. The quiz is very simple. No need to worry about that. Please fill the all the answer all the question. And once it is filled, we'll share the certificates to your respective mail address along with all the resource materials as I said. Okay. So please fill the feedback and also the quiz link. Once again, I am sharing the things, and I will don't ask me again and again. I'll share you all the PPTs, all the materials of this FDP, and also the certificate for your end. Thank you so much.
Dear participants, the overall feedback and the quiz link is same. We have two sheets of response over there. You can find out the quiz in the page 2 of that link. Thank you.